Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to talk about why earning more doesn't really translate into financial security. When I heard the topic, I thought I may not be the right person to talk about it for the simple reason that I myself made a lot of mistakes in my investing and savings portfolios and lost a lot of money. But I've learned a lot of lessons from the mistakes that I've made, and I am wiser for it, and I have been able to be financially secure now. So I've been advising companies in the past 30 years. I've been part of boardrooms, always looked at numbers, always looked at spreadsheets, always been advising large organizations and their strategies in their long-term stability and wealth creation. But outside all the boardrooms, what I could feel is that most of the individuals, including me, when it comes to the financial security, individual financial security, we always feel, despite the fact that we earn more than our predecessors, than our previous generation, despite the fact that there is a double income, there are all families are now double income families. Despite that, we are always facing financial anxiety. We are always unsure about what is going to happen in the future, and we are always unsure about whether we will be able to meet the financial requirements that life throws at us. So why does this happen? Why, despite the fact that now people are earning much more than what people used to earn earlier, despite that, why is it that we are not able to save a lot than the previous generation? We are not able to save for the rainy day, and we are not able to meet financial emergencies, and we are always anxious. So one of the reasons is that the higher the income, it doesn't mean that we are financially secure. Once you start saving, once you start spending judiciously, only then you can be financially secure. So if your income is going towards wants rather than needs, then obviously you are not going to be able to save much for your future. So we always need to follow the 50-30-20 guideline, or the principle, which says that you need to spend 50% of your income on your needs, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings. So even out of the 20% on savings, please keep aside 5% on long-term savings, because in the short run, you might find that you are financially secure, or you are able to take care of the expenses in the short run, but there are always expenses that come in the later part of your life because of health issues, because of various other reasons, because of your children's education, because of your children's marriage, or whatever it is, so which you may not be able to take care of unless you have a long-term saving. So even out of the 20%, keep aside 5% for long-term savings. And we also find that despite our salary going up every year, we are not able to save more. And that is, what is the reason? Because when your salary increases, what increases most? Is it the saving? I mean, of course, most of you are in college, so we may not know, but the thing is, you can get the experience from your parents' experience, right? So when your parents get increments every year, it doesn't mean that they start saving more every year, because for the simple reason, we spend more on wants. We spend, the lifestyle goes up. It's not the saving that goes up. So the moment a person gets more salary, he feels that his house has become smaller, his car has become older, and he needs to go on exotic vacations. So these comforts, I'm not blaming people for aspiring to be comfortable or being comfortable, but the fact is that comforts come with a cost. And the more you spend on comforts, the more you spend on wants. Your salary goes, but your EMIs remain. And you will always play a catch-up game, catching up with the loans that you have taken to live life more luxuriously. When I come to my generation, I mean, don't dismiss this talk as a boomer talking, because I know I'm older than most of your parents also. So the thing is that in my generation, it was much easier to save. For the simple reason that the Avenues for spending were much, much less. Going abroad, going on a vacation itself was unheard of. More so going abroad. It was only the very rich people who could do that. Eating out was not an option. We had to eat at home, and ordering the food at home was also not an option simply because Swiggy and the Zomato were not there. So, the third one is there was no peer pressure for us. Right now what happens is your friend has gone on an exotic trip abroad, Bali, Indonesia, Bali or Bangkok or wherever, Europe. And you feel the peer pressure to follow them. You feel that he has gone, she has gone, so I also need to go, otherwise people will look at me as a failure. So the peer pressure is there where you need to, which makes you spend more. Then also the credit card, it's more of a bane than a boon for the simple reason that it makes you spend much, much more than your capacity to spend. Especially because you can pay back in installments, and when you look at a price tag of an item you want to buy, which is actually not a necessity but a luxury, you may think that, okay, anyway I have a credit card, I can postpone the payments and then pay in installments and then buy this, but you end up paying much, much, much more. So I'm not ranting like an old man, but the problem is that I'm only saying that the younger generation has much, much more of a problem in saving because of the additional expenditure. Okay, so because of this, it's more imperative that you spend judiciously and you also save for the future, save for the rainy day. So one of the things, whenever I meet young people coming straight out of college and then joining my organization, is that most of them ignore a very basic lifetime saving, which is the Provident Fund. Most of them opt out of the Provident Fund deduction. And because of this, what happens is that a small amount of your salary, which is deducted towards the Provident Fund, you people think that having more cash in hand is better, but the Provident Fund will go a long way in your life when you need to have money for your house property purchase or your higher education or your sickness or marriage of children and things like that. So it's a small drop, as I say, small drops make an ocean. The Provident Fund is not going to be a big pinch from your salary, but if you ignore it, it's at your own peril. Similarly, a lot of people think that medical insurance is a wasteful expenditure. Even I have spent about, say, 30,000 every year for about 10, 15 years, but not claimed at all. Thank God for that. But we see that a lot of young people in the 30s and 40s falling seriously ill, getting into a lot of health issues. And as you know, healthcare is very, very, very costly in our country. And if you go to the hospital once, you end up losing half your wealth. So it's always better to start investing in medical insurance, even though you may feel that it's a wasteful expenditure. So the small amounts that you make payment every year, when God forbid, if someone gets into a very serious ailment, the amount of expenditure that is going to be spent on that healthcare will be more than much more than the amount of premium that you have paid. So which is a much wiser decision to do than ignoring it totally. So these are some of the things that we need to take care of when we start earning. And so I'll just give you a simple example of two people. Let us call them just A and B. So A is living in a big city like Chennai maybe, and he has a very big salary, a big job title, luxurious lifestyle, anything and everything in luxury he can afford and he has bought. And B lives in a small town, say like Dindigul. The avenues for spending is much less. The salaries and luxuries are much less, but still B is able to save, spend judiciously, and invest in the future. Invest for the future, as a result of which, fast forward 10 years, A is still earning very high, but his financial security is not there. So B is earning less than A, but because of the judicious spending and saving, B is able to sleep more peacefully. So what do we need to do as a takeaway from this? So there needs to be, you need to save before spending, you need to invest before upgrading, and you need to plan for a rainy day. So unless these three are there, it's going to be very difficult for your future. So success is not just measured in terms of salaries, in terms of job titles, or in terms of wealth and luxury, which are visible. But financial success is measured in terms of invisible things like your discipline in spending, your savings, and your long-term sustainability. Unless you have long-term sustenance, it's going to be a big problem for you to take care of your expenditure in your older life. So let's stop measuring success in terms of actual money, but in terms of resilience, in terms of discipline, and in terms of wealth creation. Thank you so much for patiently hearing me. And if you have any questions, I am willing to take it up. A big thanks to PSNA College for hosting me today. Thank you.